Most people don't know what's holding them back, but you do because you listen to me, Sam, your self-care guru and journal junkie. Welcome to Journal Entries, your safe place where you can tune in weekly to get tips, tricks, and journal prompts to uncover your feelings, gain clarity, and make your move. Hello, welcome to this week's episode. I am going to share with you juicy stuff. Like, you're going to leave this episode feeling like you know exactly what to do in order to journal, to self-reflect, and feel better. I'm going to teach you how to feel emotionally empowered no matter what you're going through. The thing here is that emotional empowerment looks and feels different for everyone. These are a few keywords and phrases that my clients have told me that you might resonate with. And if you do, you know that this episode is going to be really helpful for you. And also that they are signs to do something about it. Like, you don't have to continue to feel this way. So here they are. They are often feeling stretched thin. They are reacting inappropriately or over dramatically. This is like, they tell me that they are just yelling at their kids and they don't want to. Like, internally, they're like, why am I overreacting? Or to their partner, they feel like it's like an out of body experience where they're reacting like way more harshly than they want to, and they don't know why. They also have zero patience or tolerance. They feel hopeless. They shut down. They're burning out between work and life and all of their responsibilities. They're overwhelmed. They feel like they don't have any direction, almost like they're on this loop of like whatever they're going through is going to continue and they don't know what to do next. A lack of support. They almost always say yes, even when they don't want to. Yes to helping out and to supporting others, even when they don't have the energy to and they're exhausted. And they often don't ask for help and support in return. There are peaks and valleys between good days and down days. So it's not like these women, most of them aren't like down and out all the time and like feeling a negative way all of the time. It's peaks and valleys. It's cycles. It's like great day, bad day, bad day, bad day, great day. And they don't know how to like raise that up to have mostly great days. They also feel stuck. And a lot of them don't understand where all of this is coming from, or they do understand, they are just scared to unpack it. Something that I hear a lot with women who want to start journaling or have already tried is that journaling is like complaining on paper, and they often get stuck in it. And why would they write about anxiety or overwhelm or stress? Because if you write about it, you're going to focus on that and you don't want more of it. That is true if you stay stuck in the emotion. But today I'm helping you on working through that. So those are the emotions that a lot of my clients feel. But here's the thing, what they want to feel is empowered. They want to feel like they're in control and that they're the ones calling the shots, not like a plastic bag in the wind and like life is just happening to them. Somebody else said, I want to find a good routine for myself so that I don't always feel stressed about not getting things done. She wants to feel like she can put her phone down and relax mentally, like not have all of the things swirling around in her head. They want to feel patient. They want to feel, she said, this one person said she wants to feel like myself again, happy, energetic, and confident. I just haven't felt that in so long. She wants to wake up and make sure that she is feeling light rather than burdened from the day before. So, how do we do this? My solution is journaling. There is definitely an approach, though, again, so that you don't get stuck and you get to the other side with direction on what to do next. I was listening to a podcast episode this morning, and Brendan Burchard says this: journaling is one of the most dramatic ways to increase someone's self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-confidence and leadership capability, including opportunities for promotion, to be able to manage more and grow their income. crazy. Like I know journaling is super effective and the ripple effect of it is just insane. But hearing that, and it's the one of the most dramatic ways to improve your life based on how you feel, it just blew my mind. And that it increases your likelihood of promotions and just more opportunities. So the reason for this is because it forces self-reflection. And when you self-reflect, that forces self-acceptance, accepting where you are and what you want. And then it also improves self-confidence. And when you're confident, you call your shot, right? And you go for that promotion. When you're confident, you have the hard conversations that you used to be too afraid to have, right? So many things happen when we increase our self-confidence. Here's two examples of when people don't reflect what happens then. So picture this. One is a dad or a mom that says they want to be a good mom or they want to be a good dad, but they don't ever reflect on past relationships or past experiences that they've had with their child that didn't maybe go as planned, didn't go as well as they hoped that it would. Or a different example, somebody wants to be a great manager, but they never reflect on their last two roles in their position or last two jobs, whatever it might be. They want more for their life, but yet they never reflect on what's working right now and what's not working and what they actually want versus what they want based on expectations or societal norms or what they think their family wants them to have, right? Crazy. So here's some examples of like if somebody does self-reflect, they are able to like create a new life for them and stop generational cycles, to finally feel abundant, to improve their relationships, to finally stand up for herself, not just like find her voice, but use it. I have been told this, and I see quotes about this, but a lot of times when you do self-reflect, you'll hear from people, you've changed. And it's like, yeah, that's the whole point, is that we wanted to change. So thank you. It makes other people uncomfortable, but it brings out a new side of you. So let's get into how we actually self-reflect in our journals. Tip number one is do an emotional brain dump. This is, and also pro tip, I recommend doing this in like Google Docs where you can type it out, especially if this is your first time journaling. A lot is going to come up, good and bad and in between. But when so many things are coming up and you have never journaled before, I think it's easier to type it out, to acknowledge all the things. And there's a huge benefit of actually writing in that it takes a longer time to write something than to type something. And in doing so, it slows down our brain so that we can actually process it as we're writing. We can have these like aha moments and like different questions to ourselves while we're writing. But again, if this is your first time and or you just have a lot going on, type it out and do a brain dump, meaning just think of all the different areas of your life. Think of people, situations, goals that you might have, and just write down anything that comes up. Or you can prompt yourself with, how am I feeling about this? Or what's happening in my world in regards to this? So work, hobbies, money, relationships, goals, all the things. Second, pick out key triggers to work through. When you do your emotional brain dump, there will be some trends, most likely. And you can find them by then just, you don't have to read everything that you wrote, but just kind of browse and see like, are there any words that you use a lot? Like, do you mention the word overwhelm in like every single area that you just wrote about? Or are you feeling stressed? Like a lot of the things that you wrote are, I'm so stressed about this, or this makes me feel stressed, something like that. Or maybe while you were typing or writing, you uncovered something that just gives you a pit in your stomach, or you just uncovered something and you can't stop thinking about it. Like you're just wondering why it happened or why you reacted that way. Um, so many different things. So if you just can't stop thinking of like, wow, I did not ever think about it in this way, what does this mean? So pick out key words or triggers, these bigger emotions that you've repeatedly said. Through your emotional brain dump, you can work on all of it. But what's overwhelming for a lot of people is feeling like they need to work on all of it right away. And you don't, because that is way too much to do. But also, it's like dominoes. And if you can pick out these key triggers, key emotions that you're feeling, and work through one of them, the next one becomes a little bit easier to work through. And the next one becomes a little bit easier. And then some of them just go away. You're just not stressed anymore about this particular area of your life because you already worked through the overwhelm in this other area of your life. So you don't need to work through all of it. Just pick those key things. And then of those, just pick one. We're just going to work on one. Okay. With those two tips alone, I was just telling my friend this yesterday, and I checked in with her this morning and I said, how did your brain dump go? And she said it felt so good. It was such a relief to get it out there, and it doesn't feel triggering anymore. I feel like I can control what I write about and release it. Oh, that was like a breath of fresh air to listen to read. The fact that she doesn't feel triggered anymore because she acknowledged it. She had so much that was just like on her mind, and she knew that it was there, but she wasn't giving herself the time or space to acknowledge it and honor it and not even like work through it, but truly just write it out, like get it out there. And now she feels in control, like she has a way to actually work through those things. So it's pretty incredible. Of those first two steps, that is the awareness step of the breakthrough blueprint. And that is step number 3. If you want to take it one step further, you can utilize this breakthrough blueprint for those key triggers. Again, just the emotional brain dump and sifting through and finding those triggers is the first step of the blueprint, which is awareness. I am going to link the breakthrough blueprint, which is something that I should totally charge for because it's so valuable, but it is free. I'm going to link that in the show notes, but I'm also going to go over the other 4 steps of it with you right now. The next step is meaning. So what are you making that emotion that you're feeling, or situation that you're going through? What are you making that mean about yourself? What are you making it mean about other people? What do you think other people are thinking about you? Like, what is their meaning about it? So just kind of attacking this big emotion from different angles, and like, what are you making it mean? The next step is curiosity. And the simple question is that true? Or are those things true? Is it true that you actually are overwhelmed and stressed and have too much on your plate? Very well could be, right? But you were making it mean that you're a bad mom. You were making it mean that other people thought you were unorganized. Are you a bad mom? Are you actually unorganized, right? There's no right or wrong. You will hear say yes to some and no to some. But again, just questioning it and kind of busting through anything. And this is where you're going to have some aha moments of like, oh, no, that's not true about myself. Or it is, but not in the way that I've been judging myself for. The next step is clarity, step 4. Now that you know how you're feeling, the meanings that you attach to it, and if they hold any weight at all, if they're true or not, what is it that you actually do want? A lot of people, when they journal, just jump straight to here. They jump straight to the fact that they want to feel more balanced between work and life. And they kind of journal through that and how they might be able to make that happen. But if you don't acknowledge the fact that you are burnt the F out and you are on decision fatigue because you have so many decisions to make and you have so many responsibilities, it's not going to be as effective as acknowledging that, questioning it, and then coming to the conclusion that you need help with decisions. Like you want to delegate. Maybe that's one of your Clarity moments is you want to delegate more, you want, to be happier in your relationship, you want that better balance, come up with a whole list of things that you want. And then the last step is actions. This is where you take that clarity piece and you break it out into tangible things and maybe intangible. There might be a few mindset things that you can do to help you feel that way. And it can be anything. It could be like setting your alarm a little bit earlier the next day. It could be reminding yourself certain things that inspire you throughout the day. It could be setting a date for maybe it's for yourself and you go do a hobby that you haven't been doing in forever, or you set aside time, like phone free time for you and your spouse or you and your kids, and you do something like that. It can be something that you can do right away. It can be doing something later. It can also, kind of like I mentioned, it can be a task that you unload, like you delegate to somebody else, or you are choosing not to do something anymore that you have been doing. This is the step that will change the game. I mean, all of it. This is the breakthrough blueprint. I called it that for a reason, but ending with actions makes you feel in control. At least you're in control of the controllable. There will always be some factors that we can't control because they're not us, right? They're not our actions. But by listing out the small things that you can do and then actually doing them, you will inch towards feeling centered. You will inch towards finding that voice. You will inch towards having the hard conversations so that you feel more confident in speaking up. Let's rewind a little bit. I just said having hard conversations. And I've shared this example with one of my clients before. The action could be have the conversation with so and so. Or you could even break that down. And the action could be think about when I want to have the conversation. Another action could be outline what my main points are. Outline, like, what is the point that I want to get across in this conversation? Because if you're anything like me, I'll enter a conversation, I'll completely like black out and not even say what I mean, not even say what I want. And so having an outline of what is it that you want to share and that you would love to get out of the conversation. Another step could be, how are you going to ask this person? Will you text them? Will you call them? Will you write them a letter? I've talked a little bit about that on previous episodes. So you can break down, like, it seems like a simple task to have the conversation, but even that can be overwhelming to the point where you won't do it. So how can you break it down? And maybe today you make the outline. The next day you look at your calendar and think, when is a good time to have this conversation? And then the next day you ask about having the conversation. I hosted a community back in November and then another one in January where we did this whole process, but we took it a step further to identify stories that we kept telling ourselves, like, I'm always stressed, or my life is chaotic with 3, 4, 5 kids, one kid even. And we also talked about transitions, right? Like divorce or within careers. And we worked through them so that they no longer believed those beliefs about themselves. They didn't believe them to be true anymore. And they rewired their brains so that their default belief and actual emotions were different. It was the desired outcome that they wanted. And they felt supported and confident during their tough season, all of it. And I got the feedback that they loved the group so much, especially the community chat. I only implemented that one for the January round, but they loved it and they wished that it was longer than 1 month to help them stay accountable to actually journaling, because a lot of them stopped journaling after the group. And they said if it was longer, they would have actually continued to show up and continue to journal. And they wished it was longer for the 1 month just to stay connected with the other women. A big feedback was they didn't feel so alone. They loved seeing that other moms were also struggling. They loved seeing that other women who were pursuing their careers felt super burnt out and had decision fatigue, right? And when you feel less alone, you open up more and you don't single yourself out as much. So, with all of that being said, I created the Emotionally Empowered membership. I'm so excited. This is a community where we talk about the hard stuff, right? We talk about that whole list that I opened up this episode with. We then actually work through it from lots of different angles in our journals, and we stay connected with these ambitious women who want to grow. And like I just said, it is a membership. So it's longer than 1 month now. If you want, you could pop in for a month, or we have 3 months, 6 months, or annual memberships. I just need you to go check out the page that I made that shares all of the information. It's so incredible. Inside Emotionally Empowered, we are going to be having journal prompts, and these are personalized. The difference between Emotionally Empowered and private coaching with me is that with private coaching, it's on the spot, and I know your exact situation and what you're going through, and I give you very specific prompts. But inside Emotionally Empowered, the community chat is open 24/7, and you can message within the portal, but you'll have the opportunity to share what you're going through and what your obstacles are, and I will be able to then create journal prompts specific to you guys. So I don't even have like a list of what I'm going to be posting about on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It is completely catered to the group. So it's definitely a cheaper option than working privately with me while still getting that individualized attention. That was another piece of feedback, is that the women felt like I responded as if it was a one-on-one, even though it was in a group setting. I know that you'll feel that too. But I'll link the website again for you to check out in the show notes. We officially kick off on May 1st. And in my head, I'm like, this is going to be a celebration. We are doing something to celebrate on May 1st. And I was even thinking, for those who sign up early, like within the next couple of days, I almost want to like get a confetti popper and like send them to the people who sign up, or something to celebrate. I don't know. And if you are able to sign up by Friday, April 26th, that is my birthday, and you will receive my journal prompt archive if you don't already have it. That is 100 journal prompts split up by emotional goals like overwhelm, self-sabotage, communication, what to journal about on the good days, how to better understand yourself, all of the things, 100 prompts for that. So that is two fun bonuses that I'm doing through April 26th. Feel free to check it out. Ask me any questions. You can send me a DM at samantha.s.says. I am an open book and would love to chat about it with you. Also, I feel like the last few episodes I've been mentioning Brendon Burchard. And it's because I've been listening to his podcast episodes through the Growth Day app. So I'll share a link to that too, because I've gotten some questions about all of the things that I mentioned that he's said. So I'll share a link to that. But besides all of the links, thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really hope that you do the emotional brain dump and that you pick out those key triggers and even use the breakthrough blueprint to work through an emotion, because I truly believe that once you experience the positive feeling and the shift from journaling, you won't go back. Like, you just need to experience it, and then you're in, and it's just going to feel so amazing. So I really hope that for you. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's journal entry. I love connecting with my listeners, so make sure you screenshot this episode and tag me on Instagram at samantha.s.says so I know you're listening. And don't forget to grab your free training and journal prompts at www.samanthapenkoff.com/podcast.